Okay, so you're scrolling online, right? And you keep seeing ads for these super specific things, like those super comfy wireless bras. Everyone's talking about them. And then you land on a store, maybe like OEAK, that's O8.com, and you wonder, is this place for real? Or is it just another one of those, pop-up sites that might just vanish? We got the sources you sent, and we've done a quick deep dive. The mission today: cut through the ads and figure out, just based on the evidence, is OEAK legit? All right, let's start with what we call the trust stack. First up, social media. They're definitely active. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We saw about 30,000 followers on Instagram. Seems pretty consistent, which, well, fakers don't usually keep that up, right?
Yeah. Well, hold on a sec. 30,000 followers. In today's D2C world, that number alone, it's not that hard to inflate, honestly.
Huh.
But the real signal the sources pointed to isn't just the number, it's the type of activity. Like you said, consistency. Scam sites, they're all about getting that first sale. Customer acquisition, then poof, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
OEAK seems focused on keeping customers, building a community. That means posts, engagement. It suggests actual infrastructure, a real strategy.
Ah, okay. That distinction's important. Acquisition versus retention makes sense. And that sustained effort, that connects to something else we found. They have an official store on Amazon. That feels like a big trust signal.
Exactly. Amazon's not just another marketplace. They have vetting processes. So being on there, it adds this immediate layer of security for buyers. Plus, think about returns and delivery. Amazon handles that reliably.
Good point. And connecting that to how long they've been around. The sources confirmed OEAK started back in 2022. So that's over 2 years now. Not ancient, but definitely longer than those overnight scam sites.
Right. 2 years plus an Amazon presence. That signals way more stability than some random Shopify store that just popped up last month.
And then there's the media mentions. We saw OEAK flagged in places like InStyle and Yahoo. Why is that significant?
Oh, that's huge for credibility. Think about it. Scam operations usually only get mentioned when they're being called out, right?
Yeah.
Getting positive mentions, being featured in established publications. That means they're moving in legitimate retail circles. It's really hard for fakers to achieve that kind of validation. It's like a third-party stamp of approval.
Okay, so the structural signs look pretty solid. Legit business indicators are there. But the real question for anyone thinking of buying is, what do actual customers say? Beyond those maybe two perfect five-star reviews on their own website?
Exactly. You got to discount those a bit.
Mm.
And interestingly, we did find a bit of a gap in the sources. No reviews on Trustpilot just yet. That's often a good benchmark. But we did find quite a bit of discussion on Reddit. And Reddit threads, well, they tend to give you a pretty unfiltered look at real user experiences. Less curated.
Right. So what did Reddit say? What's the breakdown?
Well, the big pro, the definite win, seems to be comfort. People consistently say things like super comfortable, really soft, nice for everyday wear. Comfort is clearly the main selling point.
Yeah, comfort comes up again and again. A real slam dunk there. But there are downsides flagged too, practical stuff.
Mhm.
One major thing, sizing. Apparently it runs large. So the advice is usually to size down. That can be tricky online.
Tricky, yeah. Always a gamble with online sizing.
And the other caution was about durability. Some users warned the bras might lose shape over time if you're not careful with washing. Gentle care needed.
So that durability point
Mm-hmm.
sounds a bit like fast fashion, maybe. Great feel initially, but you need to treat it gently if you want it to last. Definitely not something you could just toss in a hot dryer cycle every week. Precisely. It requires a bit more mindful maintenance, it seems. So putting it all together for you, the listener, based on all this evidence, the social media strategy, the Amazon store, those media mentions, the operating history, and importantly, that real user feedback. OEAK does seem to be a legitimate brand. It doesn't look like a scam operation.
Okay, so verdict. Seems legit. Now, if you are curious and maybe thinking of trying them out, what's the practical takeaway from the sources? Well, given that sizing seems to be the main issue people run into, starting with their Amazon store seems like the smartest move. Why? Because, like we said, Amazon gives you that extra buyer protection and, crucially, easier returns. It lowers your risk if you get the size wrong.
That's the practical play for sure. Mitigate the risk on that first purchase. And maybe just a final thought to leave you with, building on that durability feedback. The market clearly wants kind of immediate, super soft comfort right now. That's the trend. But if the real-world feedback shows that long-term durability depends heavily on gentle care, how should we as consumers maybe adjust our expectations when buying this kind of trendy online apparel? How do we balance that instant comfort against potentially more high-maintenance ownership? Something to maybe mull over next time you're looking at a care label.